finding out the cause that the blood pressure drops, right? So let's find out what's causing this. Looking for the cause and that's why the blood pressure rises. That way, you couldn't get rid of the cause and then you couldn't stop taking medication. You know what I mean? Let's regard it as that there is no cause. So without the cause, we can't do anything. Then we have to take the medication until we die. Do not live like this. Let's try a new start this time. This is it. Then we should honestly look at our life. Where is the cause? It's inside of me. Your blood pressure goes up, then the cause is inside of you. So why does the blood pressure cause my blood pressure to rise? We'll find out the cause. Before we find out the cause, we need to talk about the blood pressure numbers first, right? There is a normal blood pressure. But people are confused because there are two types of the blood pressure. How good it would be one, but it can't be one. Because when the heart pumps the blood, which part to get pressured? The blood vessels get pressured, right? When the heart pumps very hard, then the blood vessels gets the pressure very hard, right? And the heart doesn't do only the pump out the blood. Once it pumps it out, then what happens? Expand again, and what does it do? The blood in and blood vessels receive and the blood which it pumped out again. So in plain words, the heart has the front door and back door. What does it do with the fresh blood at the front door? Pump it out and open the back door and receive the old blood. Then they send it to the lungs and get supplied the oxygen, becoming the fresh blood, and receive it again and pump the fresh door out at the front door again. That's why it has front and back doors. Pump out at the front door and receive at the back door. When pumping out, what happens with the blood pressure? Rise or drop? Rise at that moment when the pump it out, called the systolic blood pressure. Then, pumping it out, how does it do at the back door after pumping it out at the front door? To receive the old blood, the heart needs to grow, expand, right? When the expansion is the greatest, there is a lot of old blood coming back from blood vessels. Then the blood vessels have less blood. Then the blood pressure have a drop, right? Then the blood shrinks in the blood vessel. Then the blood pressure drops, right? Therefore, the systolic blood pressure is high and diastolic blood pressure is low. That's it. We say that the systolic blood pressure is top. Then what is the bottom one? Diastolic blood pressure. Among you, who comes out only the one number is a dead person. You know what I mean? It means that the heart doesn't work. So 100 to 80. 80 or 70, which is a very ideal blood pressure. Of course, 110 to the 70 is also very good. 100 to 70 is also good. Below 100, it starts to be the hypertension. Lower than 90, systolic blood pressure drops is like to have the hypertension. That's what happens Now, after Dr. Lee had a good sleep for the night and take the blood pressure, my actual blood pressure is 120/80. After an hour taking the blood pressure again, it was 142/65. It shows up what Dr. Lee did an hour after while sleeping for a good night. What did I do? So what happened with systolic blood pressure? It rises there. It pumped more blood from the front door. 1 hour later, contracted the heart much more harder and sent the blood from the front door than just waking up. And what about the back door after that? The heart is expanding more, and to receive the old blood more, diastolic blood pressure, which is bottom one, is much lower than just waking up. Pumped harder, more expanded. When Dr. Lee just wake up, the heart was beating like this. The heart was like this. What happened 1 hour later? It happened this. What did I do? A person did exercise. You have to learn one important thing here. If you want to drop your diastolic blood pressure, you gotta exercise. During exercise, systolic blood pressure can only go up, but what's one great benefit? The heart is expanding more. You know what I mean? Please remember this. Well, next day, Dr. Lee slept well and wake up. Total taking the blood pressure 102/80. 1 hour later, take it again. 144/90. What happened to this? What happened to the systolic blood pressure? The heart contracted much harder. So systolic blood pressure went up. But what happened to the diastolic blood pressure? It can't expand much. It contracted very hard. It's good if the heart expand well. Then they're receiving a lot of the old blood and make new blood and send much of it. That's when you exercise. Sending a lot of the blood, then it can't receive old blood much from the back door. That kind of phenomenon. The phenomenon of not too expanding well. So the diastolic blood pressure doesn't drop and stop at 90. So what happened is, when they exercise, it happened like this. Now, it happened like this. It can't expand well. What did Dr. Lee do during an hour? I'm pissed off. I got a bad phone call. Oh my god. That bastard. How could you be a moron? Something like this. Or your wife irritates you. So the heart, for example, what kind of the mental state is this? What are they receiving? Stress, receiving the mental stress. The blood pressure rises, but this diastolic blood pressure doesn't drop as it does when exercise. It rises. So when you are angry, the contraction is stronger, but it can't expand much. You know what I mean? What happened to your blood pressure when you are upset and nervous all the time? It rises, right? But when the hypertension the patients came to see the doctor after taking the blood pressure, and we are the most interested about the diastolic blood pressure, the bottom one. Systolic the blood pressure is high, but this can work. The diastolic blood pressure is too high. What that means is the heart doesn't expand very well. What other way to say is that the word heart doesn't expand very well. The heart doesn't expand well. Other way to say it doesn't expand. Electricity. You're right, electricity. Don't use that word, it's correct, but let's say it in the plain terms. The heart isn't elastic. Don't you have other way to say, better word? Erudite remark. Flexibility, a heart without the flexibility. Eventually, what kind of the heart is it? It's a stiff heart. Cannot the heart be stiff? Yes, it can. Folks, can the body be flexible and become a stiff body? Yes. Body is flexible. What does it mean by that? For example, flexible. What happened when the body is stiff? It's inflexible. Please do this. Then what happened when it's flexible? It's flexible, isn't it? It's flexible, isn't it? My body used to be stiff in the past, but now I'm very flexible. Our body, your heart also can be stiff and flexible. Flexible now, but it can be stiff later. Why is that? Why is that? Exercise. The answer is correct. Exercise and flexibility. Why exercise make your body flexible? Then, what is that but the flexibility? I just told you. Get stressed out. So the state of stiff mind is the state of under stress. When you are under stress, your heart is stiff, and I don't want to hear it. Shout like this, hey, come out. The state of stiff mind, then the heart and body become stiff. This is an amazing story. What has to do with mind and body? So many people think this way, but this is wrong. Folks, you have to think a new way. Until this time, people have no idea what kind of problem in their mind, and they said, what should I eat for being flexible? They think this way it's wrong. Eventually, what should you eat is when you eat a flexible mind, then your body will be also flexible. You know what I'm saying? This is important, right? Then the person who has a stiff heart is the person that the diagnostic pressure is high. Now this is the problem.